Tonight I will be talking about gaming, actually. So, for those who don't know, I'm Zoe, and Harley, the born of the Born Geek, is currently sleeping. And I just thought that I would share with you a little bit about my gamer tendencies. So, this live stream is kind of all about those things that we do inside video games that we can get away with. It's normal behavior in a video game that really wouldn't play well if we did it in real life. So, I'll jump right in. I've been playing some Mass Effect lately. So the new Mass Effect is out, Mass Effect Andromeda, and that was like months ago that it was released. And I finally am getting to it. Like finally, in my pile of shame, I have started playing it, and I'm really enjoying it and all of that. But it kind of reminded me of all the things that I do that are fine to do in a game, but would not fly in real life. So one of them that I thought I would share is the way I engage in conversation, and I think that's the big one for me. That was the main sort of wake up for me in terms of how I behave. That would be awful in real life. So I'm playing as a female rider. Yeah, I'm playing female rider. Of course, like I don't know, fem shep was also better than male shep, so why not play as fem rider? And thanks for asking, Chandra. So I'm playing as female rider, and I have gathered a crew, and I've gathered, I've been going on missions and all of that, and you have these opportunities to engage in conversation with the various crewmates, and I kind of do something with the crew that would never work if it were real life. I go down every single dialogue tree. I ask every single question. I probe every single detail, and I realized, like, if this were real life, like, imagine you meet someone for the first time, and they're like, oh, what brought you to this city? And you're like, well, I had a bit of a rough start, but then I decided I would move here and, make a new life for myself. And the person was like, really? You said a rough start. What kind of rough start? What was rough about it? Please, could you tell me more? Oh, what do you do here? Oh, okay, that's interesting. Please, could you go into more detail about that? How do you feel about everyone else that you've ever met? Please give me detail on all of the things that you've ever felt about every person I've also encountered. Like, who would do this? I would be the worst person to talk to at a cocktail party if I behaved in real life the way that I do in games. Like, that's just absurd. And it just makes me laugh because I'm thinking, like, if that's just like the tip of the iceberg, I suppose. So another thing I do, or I get irritated if I don't do in a game, is I want the ability to run everywhere. Like, I don't walk ever in a game. I'm running around, and then I get in a car, and like even if I'm driving like 2 feet, I get in the car and I drive, and then I get where I need to go and I run to like the next objective or whatever it might be. In real life, I don't run. Like, unless I'm running for like a bus, or like there's something I'm gonna miss if I don't run, I don't run. Even if I'm gonna miss a train, I'm kind of like, meh, I'll miss the train and I'll get the next one. Like, I'm just not someone who lives in a hurry and runs around in real life. But in video games, I am always running. Always. And I will drive short distances to avoid walking because walking is too slow. Whereas in real life, I will avoid driving short distances and go for a walk instead. Also, so I typically prefer playing RPGs and action games and stuff like that. And I'm really big into like skill trees and leveling up and all of that. That's one of my preferred things to do that I really enjoy. So I will, I love a game where I can achieve objectives, get points, and spend those points to become like, harder, better, faster, stronger type thing. Like, I want to be able to level up my character and become more powerful and, all of that. And, beyond games like Mass Effect where you do that, you go on missions, you get XP, you level up, you get, you can expand in different ways. Like, even in games like The Sims or something like that, if I need to level up my charisma, I will keep the dude home from work so that he can level up his charisma and get the promotion the next day. Like, that's just the reality of how I play video games. It's like, oh, you need to train, you must exercise late into the night, and then take a shower, go to sleep, wake up, go to work. And I have no excuses for my characters in games. Like, they must just work, and they must train, and they must become better characters and better people. Well, people is a strong word, but, they must improve, self-improve at all times. I like to think I'm improving and growing on a regular basis, but the reality is I'm not pushing myself to train like an athlete all the time or something. Like, obviously, I should be more fit, but I'm not good at, like, I'm willing to do those activities in a game that I'm just absolutely not willing to do in real life, even when they're tedious. Like, even when it's like a fishing game or something like that, where you just kind of like, oh, fishing, like, and it's boring or whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm like, well, the character needs to do this in order to improve, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I'll pour all this time into those kinds of things just to level up. Like, why am I willing to level up, in a game and not in real life? Like, I suppose there's no ding, there's no, like, point allocation, it's just a gradual thing in real life. But, like, I want all of that. I want to be able to level up in real life. It's actually quite cool. There's one of the fitness apps I used to use, Fitocracy, does exactly that. There's, like, little quests you can do of, like, going for longer walks or runs or whatever, or lifting more and more weight, and then you get little trophies and achievements, and you level up, and you get points for doing different activities. It's quite cool, actually. It's a very clever little app. But I need stuff like that. Like, I need to be able to track stuff and get positive reinforcement. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna do it. Like, it's not gonna happen. So I do that. Also, what is it with me and, like, I don't know if you guys do this as well, but I expect to be able to loot everything. Like, absolutely everything. So if there's a chest somewhere, if there's a treasure chest, essentially, although now games design it to be like a container, a box, or whatever. If there's loot, if there's free stuff lying around, I expect to be able to take it. Like, I am the hero of the story. I want to be able to just take all items that lie around the world. They should be there at my disposal. And, like, games that punish you for, taking other people's stuff, I'm like, no, but I'm the hero of the story. I should just have everything. And, like, in real life, I don't go into other people's homes, look around their house for loot, and then, like, maybe have a conversation with them, maybe not. Like, oh, you didn't light up, so I'm gone. Like, that would also not be acceptable behavior. So, I don't know, do any of you guys engage in behavior in real life that you learn to do in games, or vice versa? Like, do you try and behave like a normal person in game, or do you realize, like, this is a game, and I'm just gonna do things that I would never get away with in real life? Hot chocolate is so nice. So, I mean, I just keep thinking of, like, I will have, like, the skills that I pursue in games are also not necessarily skills that I would pursue in real life. I mean, some of them are. Like, I generally like cooking skills, if that's an option in a game. I like to level up my cooking abilities. And, like, foraging or scanning or exploring, I always do really a lot in that. Or, like, fishing. I mean, I've never gone fishing in real life ever, and yet in every game that has fishing, I love it. Like, every single game. I think in Stardew Valley, that was, like, one of the first skills that I maxed out was fishing. And, yeah, I'm not a fisher in real life. But then again, Stardew Valley in general, when would I ever spend all day fishing and tilling a field and a farm, and then spending my evening in a tiny town talking to, like, the 6 people in the bar? I don't know, it's funny when you actually think about, like, what passes for normal in a game world versus what passes for normal in real life. And it's one of those things where like I've written about it, talked about gaming role models and video games that I want Harley to play and all of that. And obviously she'll be able to separate, reality from fantasy and stuff. But it's just kind of funny when you think about like, oh yeah, no, I want her to learn like they're strong female characters who then go into small remote villages and steal everything in sight from the poor people who have nothing. Like it just doesn't really make sense to me. That part of things. So I just think like it's one of those things where, or what about like romance options in games as well? Like there's often games that have romance options and I will just like talk to a character and flirt with them incessantly until they finally are like, oh, I'm interested in you too. I mean, I suppose I could do that in real life before I was married. But it's just really weird to me, like what we think of as normal in game that in real life would just make us the like worst person to ever invite to your party ever. So yeah, I know this is a bit of a quick one, but I think that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about is like, in just games that I'm playing that I think like what world would this pass as okay, or what about like side quests? So like, I loved The Witcher. Obviously everyone loved The Witcher. Loved The Witcher 3 and like the whole thing of like, oh, I have to find the women that I love, like I have to find Yen and I have to find Ciri and all of that. But let me play card games incessantly for the next like 5 days because their lives might be in danger, but there's this really interesting card game that I can play with random people all over the world. Like, that wouldn't fly. That would not go down well. Like, could you imagine, like, hey Ciri, I'm here to save you. Oh yeah, where have you been? Ugh, playing cards. Like, she would kick his ass and be like, go away, I don't want your saving anymore. It's like what we do in game. Like, I'm always doing all the side missions before I pick up the next main quest. And it's like, imagine someone says to you, like, I really need you to go and save the world. And you're like, okay, cool, I will. But I'm also going to be gathering plant specimens for the next while. It just doesn't make sense. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it. That's the crux of it. Is just like, whether it's side missions, whether it's dialogue trees, whether it's just, spending way more time in a game customizing what I'm wearing than I ever do in real life. Obviously gaming isn't real, but it is a real experience. And it's just kind of funny what passes for normal, what passes for fun, and human behavior, human interaction in a game that really, really, really wouldn't fly in real life. I suppose I'm going to have to rethink some of these when I start introducing Harley to gaming, so she doesn't think like, well, this is how you act in game, why can't I do this in real life? I'm going to have to be very aware of how I introduce that stuff. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this Facebook Live, just a little silly chat about the way games are versus real life. If you enjoyed this, please make sure to share it with your friends so you can also have a laugh. If there are other things that you think of that you do in games that you wouldn't get away with in real life, do let me know. And just remember that I go live every Sunday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock, so be sure to catch me live twice a week when I talk all things gaming and geeky as well as parenting. And yeah, I'll chat to you